Day 3 of Bears camp in the books. We are all here together. We all got to watch practice today. It was
terrible.
It was a practice.
We're going to talk about it and never speak of it again.
There we go. Show starts right now. CHGO Bears. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast, another training camp edition, and CHGO training camp coverage is powered by Circus Sports Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr. You guys are so cute together. You dress the same. You
and twins.
Harass the same fans outside the Hawthorne Mall at 6 a.m.
It was a rare opportunity to wake up in the morning and just know that Gregory was so close. I couldn't resist. I had to go over to Hawthorne Mall. Really, I wanted to see the Bears fans, the great Bears fans like Rob and Carrie, who we'll talk about coming up here. Excuse you, computer. But I think today's just going to go extra rough. I have a bad feeling about my performance today, but
can't be worse than practice.
It was
well, we'll see.
Well, I do think I could cross that barrier.
All right. Well, let's try.
Yeah.
We'll be joined by Adam Jahns here in about 15 minutes or so. He'll give his thoughts from Hallis Hall. We saw another practice today, as we like to do. Jump in our best and worst. Try to keep it positive at the beginning. So I'm going to go with my best. Actually, I'm going to give two best because one does not have to do with practice. But I got to practice today, and I'm crossing the little street before I'm about to go in, and there I see the entire Payton family.
Yeah.
Jared Payton, the whole crew, the kids, awesome family, and the best part is he gives me a big hug, and he says, "Jump on the golf cart, buddy." And I got the Payton ride in, so that was the best. And they were there because today would have been Walter Payton's 72nd birthday, and they weren't just doing. They were going to Walter Payton Center. I know they were going down to Walter Payton Prep too in the city. They were hitting up a bunch of different things to kind of celebrate Walter's birthday as a family. So that was super cool. In terms of practice, before we get to all the offensive struggle stuff, I have to say, because I have been a little skeptical this offseason about how much I was believing that this defense wouldn't skip a beat or – even better, would get better from where it was, at times last year. They were giving up quite a bit on the ground, especially. I love the defensive energy right now. From the very moment they take the field, you got Jaquan Brisker yelling. They're flying all over. The offense, we've now heard Cole Kmet and DJ Moore talk about how Dennis Allen's just kind of throwing just everything at the offense. This is a very different defensive scheme than sort of the sit back, bend but don't break. Yeah, it's going to be hard to score touchdowns against us, but we're going to basically do mostly the same thing except for a blitz here and there. That's how it was. Now it's like you don't know what's coming. It's going to be much harder to prepare for. It's going to be riskier. They're probably going to give up bigger plays at times as a result, but I really like the defensive energy right now. They're all over the field. Which brings us to the worst, though, because I have to say, I guess I don't keep the stats for every single 7-on-7 in the history of this team I've covered. I cannot recall a 7-on-7 period in which a pass was not completed.
Is that bad?
That 5-play, and I'm talking about the number one quarterback. The backups came and they completed passes, but we had a drop. We had a forced pass that I know some people called a drop, but I had a great angle at it. He had DeAndre Swift open. He threw it to Cole Kmet. It was a tight window. The ball got knocked away. I would not call that a drop. We had another incompletion. Then we had an interception, and then we had an interception. And that's how 7-on-7 in the red zone went. 0 for 5, 2 interceptions, and 1 drop.
And the final interception was the TJ Edwards up the seam on the right side, and he didn't even see him.
He's struggling to see the linebackers right now. Caleb Williams he's struggling to see the linebackers. He's trying. The one thing I'm going to give him, which goes back to my best, there are not a lot of open windows out there. Like there's some tight windows that he's being forced to throw the ball. So the coverage, I think, has been good. There definitely is some good defense happening here that's causing some of these problems. That being said, it's 7-on-7. The ball shouldn't hit the ground. I guess you could say the ball didn't hit the ground on 2 of them, but that's because the defense picked it off. Not good. It's got to be. No, I'm being serious. That's the type of thing where that's got to go in a meeting room today. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, we got some Declan Doyle clips to play on it, and everyone is downplaying, but I do wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Gregory, you want to go next?
I can go next.
Or would you like me to take off? Let me go next. You just hang out.
Go down the line.
Yeah, let's go down the line. So best today is I was hanging out with Hoge, and the threes are out there. Tyson and Case have been switching back and forth, and I see JP Richardson line up, and I say to Hoge, I'm like, it's going to JP. And then, of course, 17 processes through, and then bang, 17 to 26 across the middle. Then they had another sweet connection. So I got one right in front of Hoge. So let's make this about me. 2,
I was impressed. I turned and looked at you. I was like, how did you know that?
Well, I knew that Tyson likes dudes who are going to run hard and give it their all. And here comes, and I knew that JP was going to do it. I just had a sense that might be, those two might actually get along quite well. So, but it was a sweet pass. It was a sweet catch, and it was a sweet moment there. And there were a bunch of them. Big 1-7 who you shouted out yesterday. It was interesting in the post game today. Dan Wiederer is asking questions about him. People are just, so everyone's seeing the same thing that's going on right now. The worst for me, and it's not a huge concern, but outside of just everything that Hoge just underlined, DeAndre Swift just had a couple drops today on balls that were very, very, very basic. And look, with where the Bears are at, you have got to take care of the quarterback because he's going to need a little bit of a boost right now. And so, multiple drops from a guy who's highly motivated and is key to this offense. I didn't love seeing that. So, I'm a big believer that DeAndre Swift could be a huge weapon for the Bears, catching the ball out of the backfield, but he has to catch the football. And today he dropped a couple.
And there was one other one where Caleb tried to throw it to him earlier in practice, and it was a bad throw. So you got 0 for 3 trying to get the ball to your running back out of the backfield today. Another thing I would say is just completely unacceptable. And when I say that, I just I'm talking. I wouldn't just single out Caleb. I would go after the entire offense in the offensive meeting room today. And say, this is just unacceptable. You have it's not. You can't drop the pass on the first one. You get more open so that the win. Okay, so what? They're playing great coverage. Be better. Get open.
Well,
you make plays.
Yeah, I do wonder, and this is probably perhaps an unfair thing to wonder, but I do wonder when things are so off and you just don't. We'll get into again what Declan's saying about where Caleb is at as far as getting him up to speed. But when things are so off, I do wonder, just natural human tendency takes in, I'm not going to bust my ass completely to get open on this play because I think we're going to screw up the play and the ball's never going to get to me. I do wonder if there's a little bit of that going on with the ones. I hope that's not the case, but I do wonder.
Well, and if it is, then that's the type of stuff we've been talking about here with the coaching staff that they got to nip right away.
Yep. So for my best, I think you could have easily just said the defense because of all the plays they made today. And I think a tendency when you go to training camp is to root for the offense and not the defense. That's been going on for 20 years. Even when the Bears had, a legendary defense of Hall of Famers, everybody went to camp and still rooted against them to the point, I've said this story a million times, Peanut Tillman once turned to the crowd and was like, the defense plays for the team too, but everybody wants to see touchdowns at camp. That's just, I think, the nature of the beast when it comes to fans at camp. But at the same time, I am going to give you a silver lining when it comes to the offense. It was a bad day, certainly was a bad start, but it isn't how you start, it's how you finish. And the final 11-on-11 team drill, they ran the 2-minute drill, and I thought from an operations standpoint, they finally got on track. things weren't perfect. DeAndre Swift had 2 huge drops. If it wasn't for one of them, he was wide open on the left sidelines, or else that goes for big yardage. They end up settling for a field goal, and so they could have gotten further down the field if not for that drop. But I just like how they came out for that final drill. Immediate pass to Rome Odunze, crosser route, a deep crosser route around to the right side to Rome Odunze. He threw a strike. Then the next one, which was a DeAndre Swift drop, before he gets the fatal drop on the right side, Caleb Williams did an amazing job. The pocket's collapsing, and it's just one of those things that Caleb does where he dumped it right over the line of scrimmage. I thought that was like one of those plays that Caleb is so good at making. And then Olamide Zaccheaus, he showed out today in a lot of different ways. I think he's somebody that is going to be a dependable number 3 wide receiver until we see what Luther Burden can do. And so, like I said, I just think from an operation standpoint, the offense finished the day strong for as bad as things look, and we'll certainly get into those things. But I just thought that was important for those guys to finish the day. And so overall, that's my best because it was a rough day for the offense. And like I said, we'll get to that. And my worst, I keep hammering the Chicago Bears organization home, and I'm going to continue to do that here today. You're not live streaming the pressers. I talked about that the last few days. I think that's very disrespectful to the fans that are waiting for this stuff to come out. We do appreciate everybody's reporting from Hallis Hall, but we'd like to see this stuff as well. And I don't think it's a huge ask to ask for those things to be streamed. But today, my bigger issue is it's the first open practice. It is hard enough for fans to get to practice at Hallis Hall nowadays. It's impossible for some fans to get there, but the lucky fans that do get there, day one of open practice, it's on the far side of the field. And if you've ever been to Hallis Hall, they've got 2 different fields. They've got 4 full fields, but 2 different sides. And so today they are on the far side where it is completely away from the stands where the majority of the fans sit. And last year they went through this, and Matt Eberflus apologized to the fans for that happening and said that wasn't going to happen again. And I know Kevin Warren and George McCaskey value the fans. I see George out there taking pictures and signing autographs and giving hugs out to the fans today. And I know how much Kevin Warren tries to value this being this top line organization that looks at the best interest of the fans. They're sending out surveys for the next stadium. Hey, how about on the first day of open practice, we make sure that the field where they practice is close to the fans for the ones that were lucky enough to get tickets. I don't think that's a big ask either. And that those are the simple things that I think at times the Bears miss. Last year, they didn't have a family fest, and it just goes on and on and on. I know they're going to have a family fest this year. I encourage everyone to go out to that. But for the fans that go to Hallis Hall, let's try to make it the best, experience they can possibly have.
We're speechless. You're right about the field.
Yeah, the press conference thing, I don't know what the reasoning for is. I'm sure there's just a lot of things going on. They do post them like I think 15 minutes later or something like that. Just to quibble a little bit on that one, that putting all the effort they do into having training camp and getting the fans in there and then not practicing right in front of the fans, I don't understand either. Like I did, and it is weird because this literally happened last year, and Matt Eberflus apologized the next morning, and then they fixed it. Right. If I remember right, they fixed it.
Yeah, I understand.
And they got to move fields. They got to take care of the turf, but there's a way to do it so that the days when the fans are in there, you're on the field in front of them.
Exactly. You have 4 fields. This was just like at Bourbonnais where they had like 6 fields. You rotate the field so you don't completely tear the grass apart, and it's safe for the players. I understand why they rotate the fields, but then all you have to do is make sure the rotation for the first day of open practice. Maybe it's not going to be perfect for all 11 open practices, but let's make sure the first day of open practice, we make sure we're practicing where the fans are actually sitting.
I'd argue they could figure it out so every one of them is. I think it's fair criticism.
Yeah,
it was immediately talked about this morning too. As soon as it was, I'm sure the fans were talking about it, but it was being talked about on the sideline.
Well, and I'm here for the fans, and I appreciate the fans because I would not have a job without you. So thank you very much. But it is very convenient for the media the way they're doing it. So
I know I was going to say it's great for us. We can stand right there
for the 20 of us. It's amazing. But yes, I'm. You know what, Gregory? I'm going to bet that your wish will be the Bears' command. Because look, for what they do, for anybody who hasn't been to actual training camp, it's not cheap for the Bears. I understand they can afford it, but they got all these buses coming and taking you from Hawthorne Mall over to Hallis Hall, get you there, get you back.
The tickets are free.
Like they're doing a lot of solids here.
Because I heard the Vikings, they actually charge for training camp. It's $10 a piece, but it's also $10 for parking. But I heard their training camp experience is actually, I know somebody that goes to all the NFC North training camps, and they said the Vikings do it the best by far.
Well, they built a whole, basically what the Bears want to build around the new stadium in Arlington Heights. They did that around their practice facility. Like there was one day where my sister and my aunt had a girls' day, and I was like, "Oh, where'd you guys go?" And they're like, "We were like, I forget what they call it, the TC Health Complex or whatever." Like they weren't there for the Vikings; they were there to like go to a spa and stuff. So they have everything there. So I imagine it's probably worth the price of admission. But all right, lots to get to. Deeper discussion on what exactly was happening in practice. I think fair points brought up so far. But we will take our first time out. When we come back, Adam Jahns will join us. He's been working hard on his practice reports and a lot of other content. Of course, was there with us today, too, and witnessed everything that we've been talking about. So a little bit deeper discussion on what it means and all that coming up next. But first, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose, sign up, use code CHGO365. Deposit 10, place a bet for 5 and get 150. How do you do 150? Like that? Okay, 150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses.
Yeah.
And right now, the MLB early payout offer still going strong. You are a winner if your team goes up by 5 runs. Any point in the game, you get an instant payout on straight bets, parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app. Use that code CHGO365. So again, breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get 150 in bonus bets when you bet 5, win or lose. Sign up, use that code CHGO365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5, get 150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling, referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, in-app only.
All right. You do not want to pay what you're paying for taxes, your property tax, if you're living in Cook County. I know you don't. And that's why we're happy to tell you about our friends at Ownwell, Ownwell. Ownwell. How easy is it to save money with Ownwell? Well, it's super easy because Cook County has what they do for you is they give you a 25% contingency fee, meaning you only pay if your property taxes are reduced. If you go with Ownwell, they don't lower your taxes. You don't pay anything. But listen up, 86% of Ownwell's customers receive a reduction on average over $1,100. That is sweet. So you can save money on your Cook County property taxes with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes. 3 minutes, even he can do it. Start your appointment today, your appeal today, ownwell.com/cook. That's OWNWELL.com/cook.
All right, we'll keep things rolling here. CHGO Bears, day 3, practice number 3 in the books. First one with the fans in attendance over at Hallis Hall. We were all there. So is Adam Jahns, who joins us now, our Bears insider at CHGO. Johnsy, how you doing?
What's going on? Not too bad today, right?
You look
okay.
Good. It wasn't as hot today. It was like
felt good.
It was though. It said 80 degrees, but it felt like 107 with the humidity. But it was, I guess, better than it could have been.
I thought it was nice out.
Okay.
All right, let's cut to the chase. What are you seeing with the quarterback? I need your opinion, straight and Johnsy-esque.
It was another bad day for Caleb Williams, and I understand maybe the discussions right now on X, on Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We don't know all the situations. We don't know what they're trying to install. But what I do know is we've kind of been down this road before. I do know that he's struggling in almost every single situation presented to him. I get the idea that it's okay. I get the idea that this was a new install and they're testing things a bit and that the defensive pressures today were a bit purposeful. Like, I understand all that. I think what we'd like to see is some just good plays stacked together, something for Caleb Williams to build upon, not be taught not be corrected upon every single day. I understand that we may be overreacting a little bit, and I'm on record saying that this could be good for Caleb Williams. This type of friction, this type of failure could be good for Caleb Williams in the long run. But I think by day 3, I expected to see some more highlight reel plays from the offense.
But I think it's also fair to say that there's a difference between overreacting in the like, I don't think anybody's overreacting to how poor these first 3 practices have been. We're just telling you what they've been. Now, if we were to take it to the next level and be like this guy really wants to, Bajan should start. I'm kidding. That would be an overreaction. We're not anywhere near that point yet. That would be an overreaction. But at this point, like, calling a bad practice, that's just what it's been. That's fair.
And there were good moments. Like the final red zone plays were touchdowns, Roma Dunze and Zacchaeus. Those are good moments. Those are something to feel good about. But everything that transpired before it, well, there was a lot of correctable moments, a lot of teachable moments, as coaches would say. So to me, we're not overreacting. I do think this is going to be good for them. I do think there'll be better moments ahead, but I think we're all just waiting to see it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up Olamide Zacchaeus, and I think probably Caleb Williams' best play of the day was in that 11-on-11s where he went through his progressions on the left side, and I think it probably was his 3rd read coming back to the middle of the field. As Zacchaeus at the back of the end zone, back middle of the end zone. What do you think of Zacchaeus? Because I'm getting major Earl Bennett vibes, and I feel like he might be somebody that has that same kind of dependability.
Well, he was going to be the Bears slot receiver before Luther Burden fell in the draft. Like this was going to be their guy. This is going to be the St. Brown role. I know DJ Moore may get a look there or get a few of those plays that St. Brown got so often in Detroit, but I think he's been a great addition. I think he's been one of the best players early on in camp when you're making notes of completions, because we're all tracking completions now. After Ben Johnson said 70%, all of us are tracking completions, everything that he does in 7-on-7s and team drills. And we're writing 14 down a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but I think he was the Bears' leading receiver, at least when I was out there watching today.
I got, 1, 2, 3 completions with touchdown, 4 or 5 adding in the 2-minute drill. So yeah, and then I think there's 1 incompletion and then the 1 drop that we mentioned in 7-on-7. The 1 drop that happened in that 0-for-5 7-on-7 actually was Zacchaeus. But yes, overall, he's getting targeted a lot. He's making the plays a lot. And, when they signed him, I liked the signing. I thought it was a great signing. He's been with Ben Johnson before. Then they draft Luther Burden. So now it's like, oh, well, he's going to take a back seat. But, until further notice, until we see Luther Burden, I think there's a very good chance that OZ, as they call him, is going to be playing a lot.
Yeah, I think one thing that kind of slipped through the cracks today, just in terms of what Declan Doyle was saying, is at least early on in camp here, they're testing out what players can do individually, like specifically in their scheme, like what they can do best for them within what the play call wants, like what plays work best for each player, what routes work best for each player after just loading them up during the spring. So I think what we're seeing with OZ, because that's how he introduced himself to me later today or earlier today, depending on when you're watching this. He's making plays. He's been one of the best players in camp so far, I think, on the offensive side of the football.
Did anything else stand out from Declan today in his portion of speaking to the media, and if not, anything that either DJ or Joe Thuney said?
Well, Thuney's comments really about how the left tackle competition is affecting him. This is a Hall of Fame player. We've talked about this kind of at length on Hoge and Jahns, who is now in the middle of the Bears offensive line, but we're kind of forgetting that there's a rotation going on to the left of him, where he's got this competition playing out. And I know it was a scheduled day off for Braxton Jones, but you have a rookie there playing against the starters today, or with the starters against the defensive starters today, and Ozzie Trapillo. Grana Magaji's getting in there. That affects what Joe Thuney wants to do. So I felt that was very notable, just in terms of him describing how that changes how they double team guys, or how he gets in his pass sets. That affects how Joe Thuney wants to play, because that chemistry up front is still developing. Like from Joe Thuney to the right, like everything's falling into place, but Joe Thuney to his left, you have a big competition playing out there, and that affects the All-Pro.
Well, and this is where it's hard to put too much stock into it because we don't have pads on yet. It's also really hard to kind of see the offensive line play at all 5 spots while you're also trying to pay attention to the quarterback. But what I do know is with some of these struggles, there's been a little bit more pressure than I was anticipating with this offensive line that some websites like Pro Football Focus are saying are the number 3 or number 4 offensive lines in football on paper. So I don't know that the O-line play is quite where they want it either so far. And again, hard to judge because there's no pads on.
I will say this, that there was one play in the red zone during that final red zone period where Caleb got a pass off, and I saw Ozzie Trapillo just completely stonewall a defensive end, just completely held the zone, completely contained them. Like the fundamentals, they're difficult for me to explain, but they look perfect in that situation. I want to say it was against Odangbo in this instance, since it was against the starters. So that was a win for the rookie. Just completely held his own against, a pressure-filled situation for Caleb Williams in the red zone. But you're right. I think Montez Sweat is having a good camp. Jervon Dexter had a sack today. We saw that. I like that actually counted during the 2-minute period. But other than that, yes, I would say everything that Dennis Allen seems to be throwing at this offense, specifically Caleb Williams, has amounted to a lot of pressure on the young quarterback.
Was that the play where he
slung it out late?
He seemingly completed the pass.
Yeah.
But then they called it back.
Yeah.
Because even the refs by us were confused about what happened. So they gave him a sack.
What it should have been. Because Caleb stopped. Everybody stopped.
So I have to adjust that. Do you remember who
was that on the Swift drop?
No, that was he was a completed pass to
Zacchaeus.
Okay.
Or Duvernay.
OZ again. Yeah.
Along
the right sideline. They counted him in too.
Yeah, well, Jahns, you bring up Dio Odangbo and Ozzie Trapillo going back and forth against each other. There was one moment, I mean, the bullets are flying so fast. There's so many different guys you're trying to keep an eye on, so it's hard to kind of keep track of every play and every single nuance inside of a play. But Dio Odangbo beat Ozzie Trapillo really bad on one play in particular where he gets in the backfield and causes disruption. And then on the very next play, Ozzie Trapillo is able to get his payback on a run. It was a run play with DeAndre Swift where he really kind of road graded for Swift. So I'm just curious what you've seen from Dio Odangbo because he's kind of the unknown for fans. And I know you mentioned what he did in second team. I know Carm kind of pings him as like, hey, if this guy has a big year, this defense can be from good to great. So I'm just curious what you've seen from Dio Odangbo so far.
I think it's just a good thing, Braggs, that we're discussing him right now. That you saw something, that I saw something. At least there's a competition going out there with the rookie left tackle, because if we weren't talking about him like we were in the spring when he wasn't out there practicing with the starters and Dominique Robinson is out there impressing Ben Johnson, like that's a different storyline taking place for the Bears defense.
Mm-hmm.
So having Odangbo just discussed, just that we're seeing him out there, like that's a positive sign, because last time we were watching practices consecutively, it was Dominique Robinson out there with the starters. I think the Odangbo had something going on, but this is good. This is a good development because I think this defense across the line of scrimmage looks better, looks more aggressive, and Dennis Allen does have a lot to do with that, with what he's calling, how he wants to attack defense or opposing offenses. You hope Odangbo, like if we're setting like a line for sacks, like 5.5, if he flirts with that, gets 6 sacks, like I think that's a win for the Bears in the offseason, just in terms of what he was as an acquisition.
Me or you, me, great. Can we? Yes, I think. Can we play one Declan Doyle cut for Johnsy here, Steven? I want to play what Doyle said on the QB2 competition and see if there was anything that. Well, it was interesting on the back.
I know what's coming.
Go ahead.
I got you. I got you covered here. I got a good answer for you. Let's play it.
Okay, so Steven, let's play it so we can all hear it. And I recommend highly listening to the back end of this. It's coming. This is not how good Tyson Bagent is. That we'll save that for later. But this is interesting to me what he says at the end here. Go ahead.
They're very different. So that's a really good question, because a lot of times your starter is a little bit different than your 2. And so if you ever got in a situation where you had to build the offense for the 2, the offense looks a little bit different. And that comes into building an offense that can morph. To your point, both players are really good operators. They can operate our scheme. We're trying to build it right now with Caleb in mind. And that's the, first and foremost, what we're trying to get done. But, as far as the skill sets of either of those guys, we're comfortable with both of them handling what we're going to ask of them in training camp.
Is anybody reacting to that? I mean, just a drop of, we're trying to build with Caleb in mind right now. Does anybody get into that right now thing?
First of all, I thought you were going to play another clip where Declan Doyle is fully complimenting the professionalism of Tyson Bagent. Like that,
that's going to play on a loop
that,
tonight
it should play
for an hour.
And it's going on in your head right now, I'm sure. Keenum and Bagent, they've been good. They've been good. And I'm saying this, like, you got to have some context here. They are going up against backups, and what those backups are being asked to do is it's different. And sometimes Keenum and Bagent are out there throwing the Cole Kmet, who is moving around in different spots as a tight end. So they got that advantage. And sometimes it's Duvernay out there. So they have an advantage in some sense here as quarterbacks. But, I mean, you guys are seeing it. The ball's getting out. There's completed passes. The offense is functioning. It's moving. Bagent looks good. And I'm making Carman really happy right now. But Keenum looks good. I would say it's a good competition. Both of these guys are going to be on the roster. How they sort that out later still needs to be determined. But I think both of them, 3 days in, have played quite well early on in camp.
Right. I think that's important to point out. This isn't like a competition to make the team. I think it's the only situation that they wouldn't be keeping 3 quarterbacks would be if for some reason Tyson Bagent fell off the face of the earth and just looked terrible, which he doesn't. In fact, if we're being quite honest, through 3 practices, he's been the best quarterback, in my opinion. But this is going to be a 3 quarterback room, and there's not a huge sense of urgency to figure out who needs to be the backup at this point.
No, yeah, but I'm more into, like, we're building it for Caleb now. I'm not saying they're moving away from Caleb. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. I get this is going to have a long run time here, probably the entire season. Even if it doesn't start out well, but that little clip there was interesting, and also he's underlining they're good operators. Caleb needs to become a good operator. If Caleb becomes a good operator, the Bears are going to operate with a lot of wins. But that is what's really in front of 18 right now. He needs to learn to operate the offense, and he's having a lot of trouble doing it.
Johnsy, though, let me ask you this, because let's get back to the very start of that Declan Doyle answer, because that's very relevant to the conversation, I think, because we've had these situations before. You look at even back when Justin Fields was a starter, and then he got hurt, and Bagent had to come in and play 4 games. Like, they were not the same quarterback. I think in this situation, Bagent is much closer to Caleb Williams in terms of style and things he can do than Case Keenum is. So I would think that would actually be something that would give Tyson Bagent a little bit of a leg up in the competition. I think he's a little bit more mobile, and I honestly, Keenum, I think Bagent's arm's stronger too.
I'm just trying to visualize, like, the success they're having on the field right now in training camp, and a lot of it's similar concepts to what they're calling for Caleb Williams. And obviously we can't be like overly specific, but it's a lot of play action plays. And you know what? Keenum and Bagent are hitting these play action plays over the middle that we know they're practicing all the time, that we know Ben Johnson wants a part of his offense. If you just looked back at what he did with Jared Goff. But it's the backups hitting them. And I think it's been an adjustment for Caleb Williams turning his back and getting around and getting his eyes in the right place. And I think you heard Declan Doyle hint at some of that today, where the pre-snap stuff, okay, that's coming along. That's getting better. We're seeing progress right now with that in camp. But getting his eyes right post-snap, that's an adjustment. That's something we're working on right now with Caleb Williams. And I think a lot of that has to do with the play action, where they're faking the handoff, turning their back to the defense, and then spinning around. They have to get their eyes right almost immediately, and it's the backups who are doing better with that right now, probably because previous experiences.
Yeah, and I think that this is actually what you're hinting on right now is a huge story in Caleb's development in the next month or so, because we've talked about this in the offseason. I was a little bit surprised at how blunt Ben Johnson was with the idea that we're going to throw a lot of under center at Caleb and see how he reacts to it and how comfortable he can get at it. Because I mean, this wasn't just my observations. Talking to some people that really felt like they broke down Caleb's rookie season in depth. There are people skeptical that he can become a good under center quarterback just because he's has so much experience in the shotgun. And so I guess my point is, Jahns, I wonder, like, you have to go through this process. I get it. And I don't think it's going to stop tomorrow by any means, but at what point in this process in August, as we get into August, if it's still going down this road where he's struggling so much, like how much, like at what point do you have to shift things and be like, well, you know what, we might just have to be more of a shotgun team.
Yeah. Where you kind of remove, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here, 10, 15% of what you want to do play action wise, and just leave it there for something to build on throughout the season. Maybe some of it get to in year 3 together, because we know this is a process. We know this can take time. And again, I'm on record saying that instantaneous success could be a bad thing. So it's good to work towards something here. It's good to have some failure. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we don't have to worry about instantaneous success. Yeah. They have crossed.
Wait, we're past that.
Cross that one off the list.
2025 is not the year where the offense hits the ground running in training camp. But also, not to beat a dead horse on this topic, but Greg brought up earlier that, you know, once they got in that 2-minute drill late, Caleb looked better. Well, I think that's notable because he was more in shotgun because they're running 2-minute, and you're just kind of.
They're also going against cover 2, and it's just very basic, and he's good at it.
Yeah, he had a big scramble in that, and we were on the sideline, at least where I was. You could hear Montez Sweat literally screaming at his teammates, get him down. And, you know, they're not told to touch the quarterback, or they are told not to touch the quarterback, and Caleb was, you know, gaining a few more yards.
Shouldn't he have run out of bounds? It's a 2-minute drill.
Now there was a little bit more time on that clock. And
Okay.
they had timeouts.
Because he kind of cut. Yeah, whatever. Okay, he kind of. Well, before we let you go, Jahns, why don't you tell us what you're working on, and we'll tell people how they can get it with our introductory Die Hard deal.
A couple things. We still got that Antoine Randall L story in the works. That may take me a little bit longer than I think, but I think it's going to be a fantastic story. Other than that, had very interesting conversations with Durham Smythe and Ozzy today about the life with Ben Johnson, and that story will be out sooner than later. So looking forward to telling that one.
And you can get our practice reports every single day. I believe today's is up as well, where we kind of go back and forth between what we saw. We took a little bit more of a defensive angle to some of these offensive struggles. So more on Dennis Allen, and you get Carm standouts every day too in that practice report. All of that available for you at allchgo.com. You can scan that QR code on the screen too to become a diehard. And again, it's $36 for year 1 right now. This deal is running through the end of the month. So if you want to get that limited edition Hogan Johns shirt, you can get that for $36. If you want to upgrade to the hat, and it's a great branded Bills, outstanding brand, high quality hat, $59 for year 1. Then you get all the perks that come with being a diehard, all the content, not only on the Bears, but all of the teams we cover here at CHGO, as well as 20% off all merch, events, and you just get to be part of our crew.
Yep.
You get to get laminated. If you ask me really nicely, I'll give you a laminated roster.
You can ask Carm for autographs in the morning.
You can.
That was big. That was the highlight of my day. I should have made that my today's best. I got my lamination one day and didn't lose it right here. This thing is gold.
It's a big day for you.
This is big. I haven't looked at it yet, but wow, this is really cool.
I made it bigger for you this year so you could see it, you old
that's
man.
Good. Yeah, well, you know, things are going south over here, buddy. Thank you.
Johnsy, we'll see you tomorrow at practice.
See you, boys.
Bright and early. 8 a.m. Ben Johnson.
Hopefully no rain.
Are you sleeping over tonight? You can't make it back by 8 a.m.
He is stressing out about the weather so much.
I am.
I keep telling him everything is going to be fine.
Well, there were tornadoes everywhere, and it
Just
didn't
not
happen here.
It's not here.
This is the oasis up here in the.
It is the oasis. This is Lake County, baby.
Yeah. Okay. I love it up here.
You're not very convincing.
Logan, right out in the chat saying, I just became a diehard. I would like a laminated roster. So send one to Logan.
Okay.
Logan, you're in. You find me tomorrow, I will give you mine, and then I'll make me another one.
That was kind of my plan too. Like
Yeah.
if anybody asks for me in practice, I'll just give them mine for that day. If it's the end of practice. If you find me at the end of practice as I'm walking back, you ask me nicely, and you're the first person, I will give you Carms.
How are you going to laminate it the next day? Do you have one like at the house?
Yes, he's got a laminator. It's right over there. It's in the Hoge lamination corner.
My gosh.
Where do you think he's come
Do you
from?
think he's going to Kinko's?
They're going somewhere to get that.
Does Kinko still exist?
Most people
think
aren't
so.
laminating at their house. So
All right, quick
Credit to
The
you.
crazy thing, it only costs like $20 on Amazon
for a laminator.
for a laminator. Then you just got to
Because
buy the sheets.
That sounds like way too much to do. All
For
right.
you, yes.
Yeah, no chance.
Poppy need another walk yet? It's been a 25 minutes.
I do miss my dog. I can't wait to get out of here.
We know. All right, we'll take another timeout. We come back. We're going to hear more from Declan Doyle. I got some more on the defense too I want to get to as well. And there's some news out of Vikings camp too we got to talk about. That's very relevant for week 1.
Stick
Possibly
around for Doyle. We're going to make it uncomfortable, really diving into what he said. I'm going to make it as uncomfortable as possible.
That's what you do.
It's really interesting.
But first,
hey, what's up, guys? Are you looking to buy, sell, trade, or rip open a pack of cards?
Hells yes.
At Arena Club is changing the hobby with their transparent slab packs and no fee auctions. You got to check out these slab packs. We ripped one open yesterday. We've been ripping them open for the last 3 weeks. You can rip a pack open for as low as $25 and hit on a card that's worth tens of thousands of dollars. Doesn't that sound nice? That absolutely does. They offer full transparency, showing every card in the pack with the likelihood of pulling each one so you know exactly what's available before you buy. And if you're heading to the 45th National Sports Collectors Convention, be sure to stop by the Arena Club booth. They'll take care of you. So right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CHGO and use the code CHGO.
I was looking at this. You could get a Robin Yount right there. That's the coolest thing in Hoge Studio right there. Love it. Shout out to our friends at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Now is the time to get your air conditioning checked out. Four Seasons experts, they're ready to help you with that installation, maintenance, repair, whatever you need. Listen, you schedule your Four Seasons AC tune-up today, you save $50, and you enjoy a 1-year no breakdown guarantee. That's sweet. You can save up to $4,000 on new comfort systems with Four Seasons. Also sweet, new AC units from $39 a month, AC furnace combos. If you need to go that way, $57 a month. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That is fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. Plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling emergency. Call 866.
Four Seasons.
I give it a. It's better than Carm singing.
I liked it.
Sounded like a dog was shot.
You're great.
Wow. That must have been really confusing for the people watching on the fast channels.
Yeah. We're good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Let me.
Sorry about that.
Not Poppy, obviously.
Well,
Not easy. Don't be saying.
Ollie?
Don't. Alibaba. I had double dog duty today, and Ollie helped me focus. And
In what way?
well, she was annoying as hell, and I said, Ollie, sit down. I got to cut some sound that we're gonna play right now. But Ollie just sat at my feet, and she's like, all right, get it done, so I can go back outside, and that's what we did.
Which brings us to our segment here that we've sort of developed organically, where Carm plays sound. None of us know what's coming, and it could be 3 cuts, it could be 17. The number of his favorite player. You just don't know. So here we go. Mark Carman.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And let's start today. We're only doing Declan Doyle. It's actually a brief day of Carm sound, but I do like hearing from the Bears. I think you want to hear from the Bears. These guys mostly want to hear from the Bears, but the point is that Declan Doyle is the Bears offensive coordinator, and Caleb has, not hit all cylinders yet or anywhere close to it. So he was asked a ton about that today. And here was Doyle talking about, Caleb is learning. I think it's a very accurate. It was just interesting how I thought honest he was in underlining where exactly he's at.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we're training him pre-snap, just as far as his operation of the offense, and then his process is just it's an evolving thing that we're working through every day with every play, and every play is individual. He's got to really, he breaks the huddle. He's coming up to the line of scrimmage. Where do my eyes go? What do I need to be communicating to my teammates? And then how am I going to process post-snap as far as where I need to go with the ball.
So am I hearing this in any other way than you're hearing it? That we are at square one almost.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to say when we were talking to Jahns, and I just knew we would get to it at some point. I mean, they are ripping it to the studs with Caleb Williams. And obviously he has an abundance of talent and has all the capabilities to be very good in this league. He had 3,500 passing yards and 6 interceptions and 20 touchdowns last year. And that was a very shaky year with really, toxic environment around him. Now this coaching staff comes in, Ben Johnson, Declan Doyle, JT Barrett, and they're ripping it to the studs. They're working on his footwork. They're changing his lead foot. They're changing from playing shotgun to getting under center. His pre-snap responsibilities. When you get to the line of scrimmage, what are you identifying? You're looking at the safeties first. Now you're coming in and trying to understand what the front seven are trying to do. There's so many different elements that I think they're trying, as Ben Johnson said, he needs to see the game through the play caller's eyes. Well, Ben Johnson is a guy that is throwing, like you said, throwing the kitchen sink at him, trying to understand, okay, what can he manage? And so I think that's a big element of what you're seeing here these first 3 days.
I think that's all very fair. And I think if we zoom out a little bit, big picture, I mean, you bring it up last year. I still believe that what we saw last year was the floor of what Caleb Williams can be. And that's a pretty high floor compared to what we're used to in
Sure.
Chicago with quarterback play. So that's where you still get optimistic. And I do still have a lot of trust in this coaching staff. It's been a confusing 3 days. I'm going to say that like that because it's been hard for me to it's certainly not the first time we've been through this. You guys know that, but it's been hard for me to kind of sort through how much of this is what Dennis Allen and the defense is throwing at him. How much of them is everything you just brought up, which is a lot of stuff, ripping it to the studs, having him worry about all these other things. Would it look different if all of a sudden one day they decided to put the 1s versus the 2s and then have Bagent and the 2s go up against the 1s on defense, which is more what it's like in the regular season when you're trying to prepare for games. And I'm not saying that all of a sudden they should do that, but I'd like to see that just so I could sort through some of this. You know what I mean?
Right.
I do know when Bagent's with the 3s, and Jahns alluded to this, that is a mismatch.
Right.
I mean, because Bagent's not a third string quarterback. He's already proven to be a backup in this league.
And Cole Kmet's not a second string tight end.
And all due respect to the players towards the bottom of the defensive depth chart, there is a giant difference between what appears to be a pretty damn good defense with the starters and the drop off to the 3s.
Right.
And so that's all adding to my confusion and trying to sort all this out, if it makes sense. But I don't think anybody should be overreacting. I don't think anybody is overreacting. I do know, as I saw off the top of the show, you can't have a 7-on-7 period where you don't complete a pass, no matter whose fault it is.
No.
Right. There's a drop in there, but everybody needs to be sharper across the board with that starting offense right now.
I'd cut to where exactly he was asked, Declan Doyle was, where is Caleb getting better? Where do you see progress?
Biggest thing is with the pre-snap process, feeding him a play call, him getting in the huddle, getting in and out, communicating what he needs to with his teammates. He's really working at it. And that's the biggest improvement I've seen. It's all the progression. We got to continue to get better, post-snap and all those things with his vision and where the ball needs to go. But that's the biggest thing. His ability to communicate to his teammates, his ability to get in and out of the huddle. And I think he's working at it.
I agree with Declan Doyle on that. We made note of that in our practice report today that you, again, if you're a diehard, you can read ALLCITY.com as I went back and forth with Johnsy. The pre-snap stuff has gotten better. I mean, it was only 48 hours ago when Ben Johnson pulled the 1s. I know it already feels like it was a week ago, but it was just 2 days ago when he pulled the 1s back. and because they couldn't get lined up properly. We have seen there was still sort of an issue yesterday. I think there was maybe one or two today, but it has gotten better.
There's a false start on Ozzie Trapillo in the final 11 on 11's 2-minute drill.
So, which is good. So we're seeing progress there. So you hope that we could see, if we're seeing progress with the pre-snap stuff, the more and more days we go through, and today was the most team reps they did. It's by far, I ran out of room on my notebook, just marking them all down. So they're getting more reps every single day. So hopefully the post-snap stuff will turn around and get better like the pre-snap stuff is.
We brought this up more than a few times over the last week, but the quarterback series on Netflix, I encourage every single person to go watch it.
Especially Caleb.
Especially, well, no, because, and somebody did a great job on Reddit. I believe his name was Greg too, so shout out to him. But he earmarked all the points of either Ben Johnson, Jared Goff, or the Lions. It's stuff that would attribute to the Bears. And there's a point in the show, I think in the first or second episode, where they have Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, and Kirk Cousins all explain what their responsibility is before the snap. While the clock is running down, they have 15 seconds to identify 14 different things.
It's a cool montage.
It's a really cool montage, but it also just gives an insight into Jared Goff's responsibilities at the line of scrimmage in a Ben Johnson offense and what the goal is going to be for Caleb Williams to be able to replicate that. Now, you're talking about Jared Goff, who's in his 7th or 8th year,
right? And
that's his 4th year under Ben Johnson, and that is why it requires patience. This is the first year of Ben Johnson. With Caleb Williams as well. There's so much to be, and we all want it to happen right away. It's just not going to be like that.
Right. So, and this actually gets me back to, something that when I don't know if you guys are aware, I went to West Virginia and interviewed Bajent, and
you did?
Yeah. And so in there though, he talked about in just kind of like not in an overwhelm, maybe he's like, this is the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. This quarterback stuff is not easy. Like the gig is a hard job, man. What you're talking about.
And I would argue being the quarterback of the Chicago Bears is among the hardest of the hard jobs.
Right. You have 7 zillion things coming at you at every single moment that you've got to slow down and get yourself into a comfort zone to be able to function. And the reason why I like that clip with Doyle is like, he's getting better in the pre-snap. We're not seeing it. And that's the first step. He's got to get super comfortable there. Then he's got to get up to the line and actually know what he's looking at. And I don't think he knows that yet. It's clear that is still a work in progress. Once he gets to there, then he can start to pick things apart a little bit better. But he's just not there yet.
Which is also the center's responsibility, or shared responsibility as well. And you have a brand new center with the quarterback and a brand new play caller. It's a lot of different elements there that it's easy. It's day 3, right. No pads in a new offense. So it's an easy escapability to hit the rationalization button, and it's all fair. So as anybody is sitting here while we are trying to explain to you what we saw today, I don't know if I'm speaking for all three of us, but there is no overreacting. At the same time, a bad series is a bad series. And we're going to tell you, okay, that was a bad series. I promise you, when they're in the film room, they would agree with that. Now it's about making sure those things aren't a trend. And now how do they improve like they did with the pre-snap responsibilities at the line of scrimmage?
Well, let's also remember, though, like who's on this team. DJ Moore has got to be tired of losing. Cole Kmet has got to be tired of losing. Joe Thuney is used to winning. So Jonah Jackson experienced some of that. Drew Dahlman, you got a lot of veterans here. If he doesn't get up to speed, that locker room will start to get annoyed. Let's play Doyle one last one here, Stephen. Just what he was asked by Dan Reeder about Tyson Bajent, and I wanted more flowers, but he did at least throw something.
Tyson is no nonsense. He's businesslike. He is. Football's really important to him.
About how
he's excellent in the position room, and out on the field, he's constantly communicating what he sees and where he needs to go with the football. Coming back, what the problems might be. He sees the game pretty clearly, and I think that's because he takes it really seriously and he studies.
Takes it really seriously and he studies. I don't think that's a shot at anybody, but I think it's an underlining. He loves football. This game, as much as you
love football?
We'll see. Okay, for me, if I'm being totally honest. I love playing football. I love being on the field. I love making a diving catch on Thanksgiving 17 years ago and separating my shoulder because that was an awesome moment.
Yeah.
But what I love, like you love, to sit there and study and do whatever you do there all day long. No, I don't have that. And that is what it's going to, and I'm not sure that Caleb has that. Maybe he does, but that's what it's going to take. And that's why Ben's here. And we said a long time, it's going to get uncomfortable, man. You're going to have to know it. And the only way you're going to know it is if you study it over and over again. And it's just it's not fun. That is not fun. It is not easy. It takes a lot of time. These guys put in a lot of effort. It's a hard job with a zillion different factors.
Well, another thing that I think you brought up at one point was, I don't know if it's the defense or what they're seeing. I know at one point Ben Johnson said, I think the other day, that they weren't necessarily running plays that you would against a Dennis Allen defense, that they're trying to give him different looks that would play against other defenses as well. And we saw a little bit of that simulation, or at least an explanation of how they're trying to simulate certain situations, where Declan Doyle said they had Montez Sweat get back there for a pressure by design. They want some situational things for Caleb. And he said that's very intentional. That's trying to get our defensive pressures in against some of the stuff that we're going to do offensively.
That totally there was one snap where they just literally didn't block Montez Sweat, and I was so confused.
Yeah. And that's what's so hard for us as spectators, reporters, fans, because I saw, and I'm not taking any shots at any of the reporting, but somebody put out Montez Sweat's been in the backfield on this series. Well, yeah, they let him because they're trying to, but that is where, and that's why we appreciate the transparency from Declan Doyle here to explain these things, because that's what you're seeing. And sometimes when we are trying to explain to you play by play what's happened, we don't know the full picture of what they're trying to practice from each rep. And that's a great example of that.
But it's a little bizarre to me, though. Wouldn't you want him in the backfield after he earned himself into the backfield? Or, okay, fine, let's just throw the kitchen sink at him and see how he reacts. To me, it's like he's not there yet where we need to have Montez Sweat in his face 1 second in and see what happens. But hey, I mean, obviously they have a better idea of how to go about this than I do. But that's a little bizarre to me.
I like that they're trying it. Although not every detail has been figured out. I liked our guy Tim Jenkins today. He pointed out that the wide, when they're doing the individual drills with the wide receivers coming off the line, they were snapping. The pole that has the ball on it that they could simulate snapping. They were snapping the ball the wrong way.
Interesting.
They were snapping it towards the defense, not the offense. So we gotta
work on that.
Flip that around.
And who was that last comment there, Steven, that just popped off the screen? It's an excellent underlining, because that's Noah Cosmic, Ben Johnson, get comfortable being uncomfortable. It's one of the first things he says. You're seeing it right now. It's exactly what's happening.
And thanks for bringing that up, Greg, because it's a great, just so people understand behind the scenes too. Even when we're in the media room and stuff, there's actually multiple interviews going on. There's different, so we're actually not able to hear every little thing from every little press conference at the same time. So I actually missed that thing on Sweat. That's a great underlining and a perfect example of how they are simulating certain things to make you uncomfortable at times. And it's just, admittedly, for those of us in the media, we're not going to know every little thing. So, all right. Let's do this. I know we're getting towards the top of the hour here. I know I want to get to some super chats. Actually, this is a good time to just mention one other thing. Declan Doyle, JP Richardson. I'm sorry, I told you I'm going to bring him up every single day.
Do it.
He's who's the guy you wanted the Bears to draft?
From
I don't know, small school
every year.
No,
then Chisholm.
Chisholm. This is your Chisholm.
Chisholm the third.
JP is your Chisholm.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
That's uncomfortable.
Hi, Steven.
What the hell was that?
Put that on the blooper reel.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Don't slow it down, though. I'm a little worried what you might see.
We just got the grundle.
I'm close. Yeah, I'm just comfortable in my room over here. I'm just relaxing.
Head to toe.
That is
stats. All right, I will tell you what I was going to say about JP Richardson in a second. But first, please become a diehard. Scan that QR code. I don't know how many. We can keep giving you more and more reasons to become a diehard, but the great introductory offer is running through July 31st. So you still got some time here to jump on board. Once that closes, we're going to get all that great merch out to you with the Hoge and Jahns and logo combined with CHGO. It is time for us to overtime right now as we keep the show going. All right, what I was going to say about JP Richardson, keeps making plays. He looked great. You brought this up in your best. He looked great with Bajent today. You called out I don't know how you knew that was coming. Apparently Bajent gave you the whole playbook in West Virginia, but you somehow knew that play was coming, and it was a good throw and it was a good catch. And then I thought it was interesting that Declan Doyle, he described him as Richardson as athletic and twitchy in his route tree. And there's something to that, man. Like when he's running, here's a guy I would like to see. And I know it's only day 3. Can we get him? We haven't really seen one-on-ones much, have we?
No.
I want to see some one-on-ones. If
there was none today,
I want to see him matched up against a starter in one-on-ones. I want to see what that looks like. So let's see if we can get some one-on-ones going here. Declan Doyle also said about Richardson that he knows the playbook. So he's obviously getting in there and understanding the offense too. So I get that he's undersized. What do we got him at, Carman? Are you looking at this right now? He's 5'11", 192. He's 23 years old, rookie out of TCU that went undrafted. I just find him super interesting. And
I'm just doing the numbers on the wide receivers. Why I just pull this up? Because you figure they're going to keep 6, right? 6. Are we in consensus on that? It'll be 6 and not 7.
I don't know. What I do know,
I always try to keep 7, and it never happens.
That's not happening. But what I was going to say is JP Richardson will be on CHGO Bears tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Can he make the team? DJ Moore is a lock. That's 1. Roma Dune's a lock. That's 2. Number 3. Do you have him on here? Am I missing him?
Who? Luther Bird.
I don't think you have him listed. Oh yeah, you do. There he is.
He's number 87.
87. So that's
bright red.
Right. I got it. 3. Thank you. So you have the red for the rookies. That's really
for the rookies.
Really well done. Red for the rookies. So that's 3. Alamaze Zacchaeus.
Alameda. What? Guys, both of you. Just call him OZ.
I said Alameda earlier.
You said
Alameda. That's what I just said.
I said Alameda earlier. I've been nailing
You did not say Alameda.
I Alameda.
He's been saying it wrong all show.
Yeah, he has. I forget how he was saying it, but it was not Alameda. It was Olamid. I don't know.
Whatever.
Not whatever. This
just carry on with
Zacchaeus. OZ is number 4. Now, number 5, you think Devin Duvernay is on this team? You would think he is, right?
Yeah, but I think we're getting closer to the bubble with Devin Duvernay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 5. Now, so the candidates for number 6 are Tyler Scott, Maurice Alexander, JP Richardson, big man Miles Boykin, who made a hell of a catch today. And then you've got Samari Torrey, John Jackson, Jade Walker. So he's got a shot.
If he
maybe even a good shot.
If he was like the starting punt returner, I'd say
which he's done at TCU.
I think JP Richardson is going to be on the practice squad, and he's going to get a year to sort of bulk up, be in the offense, in practice every day. I'm not trying to make this guy out to somebody who's going to be like, but he just
catches literally everything that's thrown.
And this isn't just training camp. It was in.
Let's get to
OTAs
preseason. See how he does there too.
But and we'll see how he performs on tomorrow's episode of CHGO Bears, because we know how that's all Carman will judge.
That's big. Can we?
And I'm not ducking the Olamide Zacchaeus. Okay.
What does that mean?
I'm not ducking it. Everybody, we're gonna call him OZ because I'm afraid to say his first name. That's not me. I'm gonna get his name right, and I'm gonna get the reps in. The repetition will mean I nail this during the season. If you never say it because you're afraid.
Right now, you're
no,
late.
This is
you're
training
late. You're
camp.
late. You're late. You're late.
Yeah,
it's training camp for everybody.
You're late.
So I'm dialed in to the reps, and then by the season, I'll be executing with perfection.
We'll test it tomorrow. Then we'll see if you do your homework tonight and you retain the knowledge. Come back tomorrow. and we'll see how you
I
perform.
mean, you had a decent day today. Bragg's coming out there with 4 boxes of Dunkin' Donuts for everybody at Hoffman Estates. Was super, super cool.
We appreciate everybody.
And it was awesome. And I will be posting a video in 5 seconds after the
Hoffman
show.
Estates? Where were you?
Hawthorne Mall. Where the hell?
You were in the wrong parking lot, buddy.
Where are we? Hawthorne Woods.
Nope.
Long Grove.
Nope. Vernon Hills.
Right.
There we go.
It was beautiful.
All right. Let's get to supers. Whatever order you want to go in, Steven. Just pop them up there. Derek.
I got some shout outs too.
Derek's $5 here, our iRacer. Hey guys, awesome work as always. Just became a diehard. Thanks for the awesome deal. Happy birthday, Carm. Can I get a shout out?
Derek, happy birthday is amazing. It's 17 days from now. I don't know if you guys are aware, but who wears 17 on the Bears? I believe his name is Tyson Bajan. Happy birthday to it's your birthday. Okay, we're talking about your birthday, not my birthday. Derek, that's terrible. That's really bad. Hey, happy birthday to you. DJ, you sing it too.
No.
This guy, Derek's been
Derek, who's winning Indy this weekend? That's all I wanna
Derek's
know.
been a huge supporter.
Yep.
Do you want a Hans Skaleva?
No, he doesn't want
No,
to.
he doesn't.
He doesn't.
No, he
Everybody-
wants
And,
not even he wants you to get to the next super chat.
And Eric Bochan's asking if you did your 40 up downs this morning. He did not.
we
no
forgot.
chance.
We forgot about that. That's on me and you. We should.
I think
we're
as soon as
short-
the show's over, let's go do it out there.
We were short on time. You should have to do it after
we can
the
do
show.
it.
Let's do it out in the
We'll do it
grass.
on. We'll do it on the grass. We'll
Yeah.
do it on the grass right after the show.
All right. Who's next?
Happy birthday, Derek. Thanks for the support. Frozen.
Jeffrey Newberry, $20. This is for
Briggy. Is
Briggy Greg Braggs.
Riggy.
that a friend of yours?
Yeah, people used to call me that. I think it is. I hate to
Think it's a friend of yours?
Well, I don't, to be honest, I don't recognize Newberry, but I do think I know this person.
So baby's going undercover as a Newberry. It's not really Newberry.
I used to have a
it
segment of people,
Zacchaeus?
I used to have a segment of people that would call me this. So I'm not trying to big time, but I'm just like trying to rack my brain.
Well, he did. He
to my
did,
days.
Jeffrey's an idiot. Everybody thanks you.
Well, thanks for the $20. It's a nice super
Yeah,
chat.
thank you.
All right. Next up, we got Quackinator
He's
100.
back?
$5. Carm dominating the press
God.
conferences for CHGO this week.
Thank you.
Love to see it.
Thank you, Quackinator, for underlining.
You didn't get Cronin today, so credit to you.
Big step.
So Cronin, unbelievably today, she asked DJ Moore. She's like, "Hey, Ben Johnson said a while back that it's not just about Caleb being on time; it's about you guys being on time. Is that accurate? Do you guys need to be on time for Caleb? Something like that was the question. I was trying to find it real quickly before the show. I forgot to clip it.
By on time, you're talking about in the routes.
Yeah.
Not like to school
Yeah.
or something.
Right.
Meanwhile, I asked that question to Ben Johnson 3 weeks ago. Cronin liked it, put it in her notes, and then brought it back today. That's why Courtney's the best.
All
just-
roads come back to Carmen.
That's
Just
right.
complimenting to her so you can compliment yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, of
All
course.
roads lead back to Carmen.
But I asked a great question as per usual. She marked it down, but and had the brilliance to bring it back. That's where Courtney takes it to the next level. That's why she's her. But she knows great questions. You, on the other hand, you'd hear that question, not realize how brilliant it was. Cronin knew how brilliant it was, and she brought it back. It's a great job by Courtney.
No.
Oh.
Was I just muted when I said that?
No, I was pressing drops that you guys can't hear, but I'm pretty sure our viewers can. All right.
Hoge's got drops.
We got drops. Chris Serta, $10. You don't need to be closer, Braggs. Patrick Finley has you covered with his hyper-realistic training camp drawings. Hey,
They are
this,
great drawings.
so these go back many years now at this point. I love these. Pat, during training camp, draws things since you can't take photos or video during, the team portions of practice. When I was filling in for Pat Tomasulo on WGN Morning News, I would actually show these on a daily basis. Very good. Well done, Pat. All right.
Great Wildcat fan, Pat Finley.
Yeah. T-Just, $5, just booked our Vegas Bears trip.
Yeah.
Not through True Fan Travel.
No.
Boo. Sadly, but you'll hear us from section 328. Bear down. We need a CHGO parlay. We should all do.
Well, just stay on the lookout, and maybe we'll be able to cross paths while you're there. some different things that we are getting in order. So just keep your
Look,
head
I
up.
keep getting questions about this. You can buy tickets to the tailgate on True Fan Travel. So everyone's asking, if we don't go through True Fan Travel, how do we hang out with you? Well, that's the point. You need to come with us through True Fan Travel. That's the deal. However, there are tickets to the tailgate that you can buy separately if you want to do that. But
or you can stay in Carm's room.
or you can
Absolutely.
just hang out in the Mandalay Bay lobby and hunt.
Right.
Haunt Carm.
Right. Actually, Braggs will be in the lobby in Mandalay Bay, and he'll have 5 bottles of Maker's Mark around him, and he'll never leave. And that's really should be your plan.
Yeah. Swimming in the fountain.
And our True Fan Travel trip is the better one.
Yeah. If there's anybody
By a
else
mile.
doing a True Fan Travel trip,
And we were the first.
they're
ones.
losers.
We did it to London.
And we're better.
And we went to Arizona. And so when
We know how to show a good time.
Yeah.
Ask anybody.
Yeah. Find the whole thing upsetting, actually.
Josh IL at $10. Thanks for the camp content, fellas. Hate not being able to attend. See you all in Vegas.
All right.
Love it, Josh.
I would say anybody that we are theoretically sharing the True Fan Travel with, like I would normally offer to fight the other side, but they're bringing like 14 people. We'd be outnumbered.
Right. But
Man, we're not turning this into Anchorman. Cornell Bryant, $2. It's the third day of camp. Chill the F out.
okay, Cornell.
Cornell representing the portion of the fan base that really wants our content, but only the good content. None of the mentions of the bad.
Yeah, I don't think pointing out a bad series or a bad throw or a bad rep means that anyone is overreacting. It's just we are trying to be the eyes and ears for anybody that can't go to these practices, and
We're not apologizing for
it's
anything.
about how you interpret what the reporting we're giving you. Now, let's give it a few weeks to see what trends continue, but I don't think there's any overreacting going on here.
It's a good question by Chico Grizzly, $5. Does Caleb seem to have the same struggles as Justin did in terms of anticipation, or is he just not trusting his guys right now? How would you answer that, Adam Hoge?
I don't think it's either of those, honestly. I think it's
Caleb throws when he throws with conviction, he throws to guys in stride. Justin would only throw once his marker would turn around and completely stop.
Yeah.
So it's more to me about getting Caleb.
it's more about
getting
making the right decision
quicker.
Yeah.
Quicker.
But I think Justin knew where he wanted to go. He just waited to see it become
He had
open.
to see it open before he threw
Right.
it. I don't think that's Caleb's problem. He throws with more anticipation. Is it the greatest anticipation in the league? No, but it's not the same problem. And I don't even think it's trusting. Right now, I'm seeing him try to fit the ball through windows that aren't there.
Like right into TJ
Dude,
Edwards.
At this point in time, Justin had a way better command of the offense than Caleb does right now. That hopefully will change very rapidly.
Well, it is a new offense. I will give you that. And it's not the easiest thing in the world. All right, next up, we have Andrew Sullivan, $2. Should we change our season win total expectations? I'm assuming that's
Just we're gonna play this out, Sully. I change it by the minute.
Hoge said that this should be a bit, and I if it wouldn't irritate so many people, I honestly think we should, because it is kind of funny because Carm, his win meter keeps dropping every day.
You said they win 3 games yesterday?
It is comical, and it's I think it
2.
would just highlight the highs and lows that we ride with this team.
Right, because there's some days they're going to look awesome. We'll be like, they're going to go 16-0.
Right.
Yeah.
Even on
17-0. Let's try that.
Even on series.
Yeah.
You know, like
I'm going to spin that though. I'm going to say, despite the offensive struggles, this is still an 8-win team today, because that's how good I feel about the defense.
Good spin. Excellent spin. Great defense.
They're going to win some games just based off the defense. Also, that's a bit. All right, Cornell Bryant coming back for more, $10. Wait, didn't Carman and others say that they wanted to see Caleb take more chances and throw more picks?
Yep.
A few days of not looking like 07 Brady. It's start Bajent time.
I didn't say that.
This fan base is beyond cooked. These are the comments that drive me crazy. Thank you for your $10, though. Literally no one expects him to be 07 Brady. Nobody. Not Ben Johnson. Maybe Caleb Williams does. But literally nobody's expecting that. And if he was right down the middle so far in camp, we'd probably all just be like pretty good.
But I think this is a fair question to you, Carm, because you were the guy last year when Caleb Williams had almost the best interception streak in NFL history, or non-interception streak in NFL history, and only threw 6 interceptions on the season, which is one of the lowest totals in Bears history without looking it up. I'm sure it is. But you were the one saying he needs to throw more picks because I want to see him take more chances. Obviously, today there were some interceptions. Obviously, the TJ Edwards one was pretty ugly. But then where do you stand on this where he did throw picks today and how you need this to look?
Well, if you go back to last year, my issue was that he took 68 sacks. Get rid of the football. So you have to take some chances. Now, I'm not going to praise him for throwing an interception if he looks like he has no idea where he's going with the football and just flings it out there. However, if he puts a ball in a tight coverage, and which is what you have to do a ton in the NFL, and it doesn't work out, I'm not going to hate on him for that. Like if it looks like it should look, and he uses that cannon arm to try to hit a tight window.
So take out the TJ Edwards one. There was a couple times where he threw it to a guy in tight coverage. The ball got batted up in the air. Jaquan Brisker came down with one. Then they almost came down with another one. So
right.
Where do you stand? Is that what you're looking for?
That would be fine if you actually saw like completions along with it. There's just such little positive going on right now that it's just, you can't be like, oh yeah, that's great, he just tried another one, when you're not seeing any of the basics really being grasped.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that is getting back to the diehard. We do, or the super chat. We appreciate all the super chats, positive or negative. But the reality is like, do you know what the difference between 07 Tom Brady and not completing a pass in 7-on-7 is? I mean, what do you want us to tell you that didn't happen? That's what I don't understand. Nobody's expecting this to look perfect, but it's looked bad. We're going to tell you when it does, and nobody's freaking out about it. It's been 3 days. If you go back and listen to everything said in this show so far, we have brought up every excuse. We've brought up every concern. We've brought up everything we're still bullish on too that could still happen and all this play out. I told you, I still think last year was Caleb Williams' floor, and that's a great floor. I think this coaching staff's going to get the best out of him, and they're going to figure this out. All right.
Yes, sir.
Quick shout outs, or do we have any more supers?
We got a couple more supers that flew in the last second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another one from Derek. I asked him who's going to win this weekend in the NASCAR race. He's our race car guy. $2. He said Tyler Reddick or Kyle Larson winning Indy.
That's the man.
Love it.
Look at him.
Love it. Kyle, $2. Just wanted to say Green Bay sucks.
Good job.
Just an accurate statement. I don't know if you've ever been there, but you know.
We sang it on the bus this morning. It was well done. We did.
You're like, you on your way to preschool? You sang on the bus?
We all got on the bus at Hawthorne Mall and screamed about how Green Bay sucks.
Great.
Ellis by Greg.
Ellis McCarthy, $5. I don't think there's anything with it, but thank you, Ellis.
Thank you, Ellis.
Crystal.
Yes.
$10. Everyone calm down. It's the first week of camp. See you all tomorrow. I agree with Braggs on the fan viewing. Bring the crutches tomorrow. Love you guys. Bear down. I actually did make that joke today. I saw you go into the ADA section, and I was like,
"What did you? Why would you just shut up?"
Find him.
Everybody. No. In your defense, he was just going to say hi to somebody.
And I went to sit because it was a better vantage point.
I saw you, and I was like, "Wait a minute! You don't have a lifetime pass for that section.
Yeah, no.
Bring your crutches."
You ask for forgiveness, not for permission. And so, yes, I went to the better vantage point once I realized that they screwed us all over by playing on the far field. And
sorry,
I ran into it. No, it's fine. I don't care. It's all good. Nobody's stopping me from what I need to do. I'm the mayor of Bearstown, and I, obviously. Walked by Travis Bajan, who's always super fired up for the day.
Yeah,
I love Travis's energy.
He was signing autographs. We're thinking about getting you a Staley hat to wear. So we'll see if we can get that done.
Pisatola, $5. My job has been keeping me very busy. So here's $5 for a whole week's worth of Carm Sucks.
Thank you so much.
Great job, Hoge, Braggs, and Steven.
My Pizzy.
I will say that the outing of my ADA movement is your payback for my cream tweet this morning.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't
That was
know, for those that don't know, there's a guy named Cream Sleeve
I
that
know.
wants Hoge to unblock him.
I don't even know why I have
This is
him.
an ongoing saga on Bears Twitter, and
Oh.
I think you need to continue to consider it. He's
Yeah, but at
really-
this point, I'm not doing it because it's continuing the bet.
I mean, it's one of the great names in Twitter history, Cream Sleeve. It's a guy I want to hang out with.
Someone give me the top 10 reasons why I should unblock Cream Sleeve.
Old Cream Sleeve.
Cream Sleeve come up with the top 10 reasons why Hoge should
Yeah.
unblock you. And we'll see. We'll
me-
review.
And then let's not post any more private text to the Twitter machine.
He does notes every day because he's apparently at practice, and one of them was that he caught me eating a walking taco and spilled it all over my shirt.
Let me come up with a name. That's amazing.
You know, walking taco at like
No, I
8:30 in the
wasn't.
morning.
That's how this is the allure of Cream
Oh,
Sleeve.
he just
is-
makes stuff up.
Yeah, like because I didn't eat anything.
Let
I've been
me
watching my figure.
Let me come up with a name for myself on Twitter that makes it definitely look like I live in my mom's basement.
Alice McCarthy, $1 again. I don't know what that goes with, but thank you. Troy, $10. No need to panic. Training camp is to train, not be perfect. We would all rather him go through the struggles now than later. Also, pretty funny listening to fans give our 2 cents on how to develop a quarterback.
That's camp. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it.
Jeffrey Newberry is also, he wants you to know for another $20. Thank you, Jeffrey, that he is a fellow Tyson Bagent fan as well.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Yep.
We love the club.
I think Ellis finally figured it out. We appreciate it. Ellis, here's $5. What is Antoine Randall Ellis' function as assistant head coach? Was that given to him just to lure him from Detroit? I think there's some percentage to that. You know, you add on a title to it, and it probably increases your compensation a little bit too.
It's called getting paid.
But that being said, you know, it's probably assistant head coach usually is going to lead to more responsibilities during the week, kind of more off the field, whether that's planning different things, maybe having a greater say in, whole team operation during the week. For the most part, during practice, though, you see him being the wide receivers coach, and he looks like a pretty damn good one.
Yeah, very involved. Very involved. I like him a lot.
It's a good question, though. Doug with $10 says, all relax. Keep it up, boys. We will do that. But we'll be back at it tomorrow.
2 shout outs. One, Carrie
Franklin.
who came all the way up from Knoxville for training camp today. He went to dinner last night in Lake Forest at good old Sophie's. He sees Kevin Warren there. And Kevin came and said hi to all of us today. So I was like, one of your guys, one of your fans, he saw you at dinner. He's like, yeah, Carrie. He remembered you, Carrie.
Yeah.
Remembered your name. Remembered the
That is
conversation.
how Kevin is when it comes to the details.
It was you were remembered, and that was
why Kevin needs to make sure the practice fields are close to the fans.
It was-
I know he knows about.
That's why he's the CEO of the Bears and I am not, because I can't remember your name.
I was like, what? You remember this guy? It was really impressive. Also, Rob, who let me sign a picture that he took of me and you, Hoge. Rob, you're awesome. Shout out to JP too, and my guy
Did
Al.
you draw right on my face?
I
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, that's a better idea. I didn't do that. Also, my guy Alex with I think his son today. Shout out to you. Thanks for saying hi. If I have that name wrong, that's on me. But you had an amazing beard. You were awesome, and thank you for saying hello.
Yeah, thank you to everyone that said hello to me. I didn't take your names down, but I really appreciate every single one of you.
You need to recite all of those names back.
Carm's great about that. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
It's the only thing.
Try
he's
to do
good
it
at.
without notes, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, your boy
I don't
Boogie.
disagree.
Your boy Boogie jumps in.
You're a booger.
your boy Booger.
You're a huge booger.
$5. Thank you for all hard work, fellas. Bragg's great show last night. Brick by brick.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
if you missed it, go check it out.
It was awesome. It was a great show.
I'm gonna kick your ass. But seriously, yeah. Shout out to Jerry Zoom and Lance Briggs. First episode of the Brick by Brick podcast.
Is that in this
last
podcast
night.
feed or is it a different one?
No, it's on the CHGO Bears
Okay,
feed.
I don't
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah, we'll
I didn't even know the show existed until 5
We'll
minutes ago.
get you up to speed. But yes, yesterday we debuted the Brick by Brick podcast. So make sure you watch it. You know, it was a lot of fun. Jerry and Lance talked about, recovery through hamstring injuries. And then they really dove deep into how to as a defender attacking a 12-man personnel. Talked about some of the training camp battles. So there was a lot of stuff that we dove deep into from a player's perspective.
One of the best teases I've ever heard. If you want to hear about recovery from hamstring injuries, get in there on Briggs, Braggs, and Zoom. Recovery from hamstring injuries.
Just zip it and go do your up downs.
Hit the like
I
button.
am going to kick his ass.
Do your up downs. We're going to post it on Twitter, so make sure you're following along. I just muted them. I have that power right now. I just muted them both. We will talk to you tomorrow. Hey, tomorrow's show's going to be at 1 p.m., not 3 p.m. We're going to move it up a little bit. JP Richardson joins us. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you.
We all silly like the mayor.